Assalamu alaikum. If you are enjoying my videos, then please do share them. Please make dua for me and please make dua for each other. There are people watching this channel, your brothers and sisters, who are suffering in their own lives in different ways. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right now to make things easy for them and to help them out of their difficulties. Before I continue today's story, there's a number of episodes that I've done this month, and if you didn't get a chance to listen to all of them, then there are 3 in particular I recommend that you should listen to. The first one is episode 12, the story of Abu Khalid the Qatari. The second one is episode 24, he heard angels inside his van. And the third one is episode 25, which is called The Crying Horse. So please do listen to those. In 2002, I made Hajj from the UK, and I went with a tour group, and there was about, I think there was about 100 of us. And I remember there were 3 couples, 3 childless couples there. One had been married for 11 years and they didn't have children. Another couple had been married for 9 years and they never had children. And another couple had been married for 8 years and they didn't have children. After we got back from Hajj, within 3 months, all 3 of those couples, the woman, she conceived naturally and they went on to have children. I wanted to talk about infertility because this is something that few, if any, people in our community, they talk about these things. Infertility, inability to have children, miscarriage. One of my relatives, due to some medical reasons, she was unable to have children. And I had a conversation with her once, and she said, accepting that this is Allah's qadr and destiny, and this is what He wants from me, dealing with that was the easy part. The hardest part was with dealing with people and people's comments and the hurtful things that people would come to me and say to me. And they would say to me that, you got a nice house, you got a lot of money, you got a nice car, you got a nice job, you got a nice husband, and you got all of these things. But the pleasure you get out of having your own children, that is something unmatched in all of these things. And she said to me, and I felt like screaming out to them, do you think I don't know that? Do you know that I've buried 3 of my children? Until my husband said, after the 3rd child, he said, I've buried 3 of my children. They had 3 stillbirths. I've buried 3 of my children with my own hands. I can't do this anymore. She said, I felt like screaming and saying it to them. The judgment, the blame, the criticism surrounding infertility when the woman is not able to have children for whatever reason. Infertility, this is something that people don't talk about, or they're ashamed to talk about in our community. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talks about it in the Quran. رَبِّ لَا تَذَرْنِي فَرْدًا وَأَنْتَ خَيْرُ الْوَارِثِينَ. When Zakaria alayhi salam, he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't leave me alone. Or Ibrahim alayhi salam, whose wife Sarah was unable to have children. She was unable to have children and she grew to an old age. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her good tidings of a child. These are things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about in the Quran because of the pain that they cause people who go through them. The same thing, miscarriage. It's just, it's just one of those things, a woman should just get over it. The Prophet said that the woman who miscarried, her fetus will carry her by its umbilical cord into paradise. There's an authentic hadith. Someone could maybe post the comment, give that reference to that hadith below. People don't respect feelings or show kindness around miscarriage, especially if that person had another child. Oh, okay, you had a miscarriage, but now you've got a beautiful girl now you've got a son, or now you've got another child. But one doesn't cancel out the other. It doesn't detract from the point. that was going to be a child that you never met, that you had dreams for and aspirations for, and it was going to grow up to be something, or to become something. And the fact that you had another child after that, it doesn't cancel out what was lost. And that's why the reward for that is something that is so great. If it was no big deal, why would the Prophet ﷺ say that that child will drag its mum into Jannah, into paradise, as a result of that miscarriage, because of the pain that the mother goes through when she miscarries or has a stillbirth? People are insensitive. They don't show empathy. They delve into private matters when it comes to these things. Be sensitive around this issue. Be kind. Show empathy. Show understanding. Show concern. Because that person who is going through these things, they in a pain that you will not see, and they will probably not describe to you. You know, nowadays, today, you have all of these debates going on about so-called masculinity and what it means to be a man, and you're meant to be the tough guy, and feelings and kindness and all of that nonsense is all for like little girls and is not for like macho men. The Prophet ﷺ, the most kindest and gentlest and humble people of all people. Who's more of a man? The Prophet ﷺ, who showed kindness, who showed care, concern and empathy for the feelings of others. Is he more of a man? Or some fools that you see on social media talking about masculinity and about manhood? Who is more of a male role model for you? The other lesson I wanted to say from this is, if you are struggling with infertility and you're trying everything else, go for Hajj. If you are able to, go for Hajj. I have known so many cases of couples going for Hajj who did not have children, and then after that, suddenly they have children and they conceive naturally. If it's not just infertility, if you have any major problem that for years you've been trying to get it resolved and you can't get it resolved, go for Hajj. And if you are not able to go for Hajj, then find a close friend or family member or relative and ask them to make dua for you sincerely, in a way that you would make that dua yourself. And then wait and sit back and watch for the results. So this was today's story. If you enjoyed this episode, like it, press the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell so you'll get a notification every time I upload something new to my channel. And until the next one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.